And artists, if you do not start looking at your very own music, I don't care if you play the most satanic black metal in the world. Damn it, if you don't know how to market the shit, truly market it. If you don't know how to market the very music that you create from your soul, if you don't know how to market it, then yeah, guess what? You're just going to be in it for the money.
Yep.
And it's not going to make a damn dime.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Music Making Sense podcast. It's your boy Harkos here. With me, as always, is the one, the only KP. How the hell you doing here today, KP?
I'm good, brother. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. So we're coming here to you today to talk about content.
Yes.
And how content's king. And me and KP were just talking about one of his artists that he was just previously working with, no longer because of differences. But those things happen. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But we were talking about the content, and he was showing me the content. And as a hip hop artist, it was kind of hitting my soul a little bit. So I had to let him listen to mine to bring the mood back up. But but overall, we were just talking about how you gotta, like, having premises and having concepts and stuff like that you want to put out in your music. That's the core of creating a song. Mm-hmm. But then you also have to have it be musically entertaining. It has to be sound. It has to ride, and you have to be able to take constructive criticism when somebody says, hey, that sounds lyrically like it's forced. Hey, it's not on beat. Hey, like I've heard before when people talk to me, hey, it sounds like you're reading it. You're not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff mm-hmm. like that. I've had people tell me that before. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, because it was kind of a fresh track. I hadn't really rehearsed it a lot before I recorded it.
Right.
Which happens, and so, you got to be able to take that, and then you got to be constantly trying to be like, okay, you can't take all the criticism when people say, oh, you're just trash. You can't do that. When people give you specific things like, hey, you're falling a little bit behind on the beat, or hey, your guitar sounds a little out of tune in this spot, or whatever, it sounds like you might have missed the fret a little bit or something, whatever, whatever kind of music that you're playing, you accidentally thumb that second key on the keyboard on accident or something, small things like that. Listen to those and try to learn from those, because the ones that just say, oh, you're trash, you're garbage, whatever, like big blanket statements, fuck them. Yeah, don't worry about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But the ones who are trying, like, if they're trying to tell you something in precise context, listen to that, because they're actually taking the time to not only listen to it, but to give you an honest criticism,
criticism, right?
And and so that's what we're kind of coming here today to talk about, because as the motto is for this show, Music Making Sense podcast, for artists by artists. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Me and KP are both artists in a range of genres. I'm mainly hip hop. Well, actually, I'm only a hip hop artist, but KP is metal and
my man's
jazz.
tight, by the way, y'all. just put it out there, dude. My boy got skill, man. I just let me just throw that sauce out there for y'all, man.
I appreciate that, but yeah, so like, but it's been a journey, because I've sounded like, a slam poet trying to hop on a beat before. I've sounded completely off beat. I've had tracks. I still even have some tracks. I was showing KP a couple tracks that I've just released this year, but are like a year or two old, where like a few of them sound dope, and then a couple of them sound a little bit forced and a little bit not on beat and stuff like that. And it's just one of those things you got to keep working on. And some if you're a lyric artist, whether you're a singer or whatever, or a rapper or whatever, mm-hmm. Going with the melody is always where the key is, and to putting that together. If you're just an instrumental artist where you just create the instrumentals, and stuff like that,
Still got to make
that's
that fucking flow.
yeah, you still got to make it flow, but you don't have to worry about the words. You're worrying about
Right.
the tempo. But even still, your words create a tempo as well too. Just like, from everyone from Lil Wayne to Twista,
To
from
animals as leaders.
right to Mariah Carey to whoever, you know what I'm saying?
Slayer
When
to Metallica.
Yeah,
Nice shirt, by the
exactly.
way.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. But they your words and your syllables and stuff like that go on with the other beats within the music as well too.
Right.
And so no matter if you're doing long musical notes or short, I mean, not everyone that gets into music has like a classical music background where they've been told about quarter notes, half notes, and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Or
Sheet
even
music.
or played in the church.
Yeah, anything like that. Some people are completely self-taught. They can't read music and they can play every instrument. Some people, have, just like feel the music, or, feel the beat or whatever with hip hop and just kind of like go, and they can ride right on it. But what it comes down to is being self-aware enough to where you can take somebody's fine criticism and put it into action as best as possible,
Right.
and not get upset about it, and not, just think that they're trying to be a hater or nothing like that. Because if they're trying to be a hater, like I said, they're going to tell you, oh, that's trash,
Yeah.
but if they're not trying to be a hater, they're going to come out with key points in there. And
Exactly.
that's basically all I wanted to say on that. But KP's got a little bit more he wanted to dive into with some stuff that he's been working on with it as well.
Yeah.
So what were you were saying something right before we started about, bridging the gap between your metal stuff and your jazz stuff, and trying to be like how that's so diametrically opposed, but you're still trying, it's still you, so it has a center point.
Right. Well, the thing is for me, like, and during this experience with losing, or with parting ways with my artist, it actually opened my eyes to myself as an artist. And the one thing that I looked at was, am I truly a jazz artist? Right? Like, I had to really ask myself. And then when I'm listening to my album and looking at who's buying the album, who's been downloading songs, who's actually been jumping on the playlist, all those things, right? And at times we as artists like to believe that, oh, it's the algorithm, or people just hating on me and all those things. And it's like, no, dude, people are not liking my album. That's
Yep.
it.
Yeah, they're not feeling the
I had to,
song or
they're not
whatever.
feeling they're not, they, there are certain people who do like it. And
Mm-hmm.
I came to and I realized that, even when I actually realized that when I put it out there, I said it's free jazz. People think free jazz is awful. I accepted that.
Okay.
Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right
Right.
away, I accepted that, yes, people think free jazz, people think noise, really obscure underground music like that, they think it's fucking awful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Again, the artwork on my album, slamming. It looks like, I would think, probably one of the best album covers in this era. Seriously,
Right.
I could honestly say, I would say that. But
Right.
when people listen to the album, there's like that one song that they like, or one song that they, here and there. Certain people like certain tracks, but overall, no. The majority of the play it got was from me.
Right. Well, I
Right?
mean, that just goes to show
That's,
that, like, no matter, you can have the best artwork, the best microphone, the best
yeah.
equipment, you can be trapped by your equipment and technology and stuff, have the best video, everything like that, but the music's not resonating.
Yeah. But I understood that, because here's the thing. I realized that was a project that I wanted to get out myself, because I was frustrated after 23 years of being a metal front man.
Mm-hmm.
and being in 4 different bands here in the Pacific Northwest, I got frustrated, and I just felt like there was that was a project that I just really needed to let out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just one of those things that it was just like, look, man, I'm just going to get away from the metal scene for a while and do something totally different. So I got involved with drumming. And I ended up getting a really cool R&B gig. I was playing in the R&B hip hop gig with this guy. Shout out to my boy Strings EMB out there in St. Louis. And I got that gig, and then I got with this really cool cover band. It was a Jimmy Buffett tribute band, Jimmy Buffett tribute band, where I played congas, got paid for that one, and I got paid for the strings gig too. And then, you know, was getting ready to do some other really cool stuff. Kind of went solo with the percussion project, and COVID hit. Right. So, and then I ended up getting home. I was homeless for a while. And then when I moved into there, I ended up creating that album because, like I said, I was just looking at it was just a creative outlet. I was angry. I didn't want to really do anything like metal, but it was adjacent because it's just these certain elements, right? The free jazz, the noise, the experimental stuff that I did in there, and kind of made it like almost like a soundtrack. Like if you were to listen to a soundtrack, like if you listen to like watch a Jordan Peele movie and stuff, and quite a few people would say that's what they said about it as well. But also the thing that kicked out was one of the statements that stood out to me the most was my album sounded like jazz for metalheads.
That's interesting.
That is and when my homeboy said that, shout out to my boy Darian.
That's a unique blend, but I could see where it would be very, very like,
yeah, because if you go
difficult.
listen to it, you would be like, okay, yeah. And I realized that as much as I love jazz, and mind you, I've listened to jazz since I was 6 years old. I mind you, the first 3 albums I heard clearly from my uncle was Jimi Hendrix, Chick Corea, rest his soul, both of them, and Black Sabbath.
That's an interesting mix.
When I heard those, dude, I'm telling you now, I was hooked because yes, it took my mind to a totally different place.
Right.
And then I started listening to darker, heavier stuff as time went along. So now as I start thinking about it, and after dealing with the departure, with the parting ways of one of my students, it made me realize what I was doing. And I realized, okay, Coley, guess what? Or KP, or but you guys know me as, but my name's Coley. That is my real name. But I'm thinking in my head, KP, yo, what do you think you're doing, dude? You're denying your fans. And shout out to Sean, because Sean put out this really cool he put out this video, and he was saying, you can't deny your fans what they want. After 23 years of being in metal, my fans, the fans that love me, that truly follow me, they want fucking metal from Coley Purnell Bolden.
Right, exactly.
That's what they want, right? And
yeah,
I had to think about that.
Yeah, they don't want jazz. They don't want you to start singing. They want metal because that's what they want.
Yeah, they want metal. Yeah, if you're gonna do the noise shit, okay, add it into some fucking vocals, add some goddamn lyrics, Coley. That's what the niggas, they's like, your black ass ain't gonna get shit from us if you go put out that garbage again. Yeah, in their mind, that's what they're saying, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. It's just like, because you went to a polar opposite on them. It's not like you played around within the realm. You went to another whole nother realm. Yeah. And like, so, because I mean, if you would have went to instead of going to jazz, if you would have went from metal to just like a milder rock or like something acoustic or something like that one time or whatever, but it was still a little bit heavy, but it was like more
Yeah.
acoustic or something. Like all those different things within metal, you still could have got it. Like if you would have went speedy, if you would have went, like thrash and whatever, if you would have like, decided to do something like a little bit like punk or like alt rock or something like that, you still could have been in that realm with them. They could have still,
Yeah.
because those kind of people, they like that range within the realm,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure there's some people that are like, yeah, I like metal and I like jazz, but it's very, very few and far between.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
So yeah, I could definitely see why people would react like that,
Yeah.
because, and you understand that too. And see, that's the thing that we're talking about, is that you gave the criticism to your student. They didn't take it very well. And then you're like, well, hold on a second. I need to look at the criticism I've been getting and take it better as well, too.
No,
Because that,
no, here's the thing. No, no, no. Here's the thing, though. Here's the
okay.
thing. The difference is I knew already when I created this album
Mm-hmm.
that it was not going to get the response that it would get. I
Right.
knew that. Like I knew coming in, but I said I wanted to express my own feelings. I wanted to express
Mm-hmm.
this. I wanted to get this shit out of me. Right. So I created it. Now that it's out of me, my black ass got to get back into the good shit that everybody wants.
Right.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like I understood I understood my assignment. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But I realized my thing is that when you realize and you know that it's going to be a bad product and it's not getting you anywhere, no matter how many dollars I put behind advertising it, it's not going to give me the push I need. People want my rhythm and vocals.
Mm-hmm.
They want songs. They want structured songs in a metal fashion. I don't care if it's like Dark Throne, if it's like Metallica, if it's like Seven Dust, if it's like Slipknot, if it's like Dissection, if it's like Dimmu Borgir, fuck them anyway, but at the same time, right? If it's
Right.
Slayer, if it's goddamn Decapitated, Cattle Decapitation, big
They
up, I love
still
you
want
guys.
that
They
realm.
want that. They want structured songs within. They want metal with structure. I
Yeah.
can
It's
do
just like
noise. I can
it.
do all that
Yeah.
stuff, but bring my vocals. They want to hear me on the mic with my fucking lyrics and choruses and shit. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah, it's similar to when Lil Wayne tried doing rock for a little bit, and like it just flopped with his audience
Yeah.
and then the rock audience was like, I thought you were a hip hop artist, And so like you won't really connect with anybody really, because the image that you've built is like what MGK is going through.
Mhm.
He brought his way up during hip hop, and then but like now he mainly is like on stage with guitar and stuff like that, and then every once in a while he'll come back with another like Eminem diss or something like that in hip hop to try to like boost his signal again, but then he goes right back to picking up a guitar and doing that kind of singing and stuff, and people were just like he has fans for that. It's
Right.
just you can't keep jumping around,
Right. But
and
here's
you
the
gotta
thing
you gotta
though.
kind of
Gotta
stay,
say, right. But I did that because and you can now that's the thing. You can do it after you've done something for so long and you
Mhm.
decide to like you want to transition. But okay. But here's the thing that was different. And this is why I can see where he's coming
Mhm.
from us having this conversation. But here's something I'm saying. And I said this to you.
Mhm.
If you've been doing something for so long, though, and it's not succeeding for you, maybe you do need to make a new transition.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what I was saying to him.
Yeah.
And that the
Yeah.
thing, he didn't like the fact that I was saying, now for me, I was saying that I'm not a jazz artist because I actually became great in metal.
Yeah.
I
And
don't feel this art. I don't feel I don't feel my guy is a hip hop artist. I feel he's more of a dark cabaret rock pop artist with some swag, especially after that last song I said that I became a huge fan of.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to show you the other ones too, but
That's
again,
fine. I get the
but you
gist.
see, but you get the gist, right? It was like, okay, to me, from a coach perspective, it was like also being a music fan. And like I said, for me, it was like being a coach, is the fact that I'm a coach. So I'm
Mhm.
looking at it from a perspective of, okay, which brand actually is more captivating? Is it
Yeah.
the one song, or is it this video? Right? That's what it was. And when I saw what was the most captivating, I said, go with that.
Mhm.
But when I'm listening to, again, when I shut my eyes out of looking at the brand and
Mhm.
listen to the songs, that's when I said, if you're going to go, if you're going to do hip hop, if you're going to do rap, you got to know how to ride that beat, and you got to
Mhm.
know how to be in the pocket.
Yep.
That I know
Absolutely.
for a fact, dude. Now, I've been, like I said, been doing metal for 23 years, but dude, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. My brother is in hip hop. My brother does hip hop beats. Okay.
Mhm.
I grew up around niggas who could rap. I grew up around guys who not flow. And one thing, the Midwest people think, but cats in the Midwest got flow,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
that the Great Lakes area, that area where Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, especially those
Yep.
areas, dude, those flow,
Yeah.
mad
It's
flow.
it's it's definitely over. I mean, that it's just like a geographic thing for a lot of aspect, but I mean that has always had elements of change in it, because some people have came out, and but it's just it's not known for that kind of stuff, and it's just the
Right.
same. Because that's the brand. The brand of the Midwest is farmers.
Mhm.
The brand of New York is, hip hop and street scene and all that shit,
Right.
big city and everything like that. So, you know, it's just the same as when you are an artist. If you're known for one thing, you can play around within that thing. However, you can't go too far outside. And as an artist, I know that like sometimes you want to do something different, something else that you feel you don't want to just be one thing. You want to be dynamic, you want to be you, and that's perfectly fine. However,
But
you can't expect everyone to rock with it
and
you
also
know
the thing is that makes it tough is, what are you going to be able to market?
well, there's that too. Yeah, because
Right?
you're gonna
It's
have to
hard
try
to
to
market.
yeah, you're gonna have to try to market to a totally different group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be like if I went from making hip hop music to start making punk music or something like that. I would have to try, to build a whole new brand basically. I mean, I would have to essentially just change my name and everything.
Right. But when you're looking at it in the different realm of hip hop per se, right?
Hmm.
And let's say, like, because think about this, like, a see if you're a boom bap artist, but then all of a sudden you're like, you end up, you're Griselda, and then you turn it to JPEG Mafia, or
Mm.
Danny Brown, right? How does now that also plays a huge role too?
It does, but it can resonate. Like you said, you're still playing in the realm, so it resonates a lot easier. I'm not saying it's going to resonate exactly the same, like a drill rapper who decides to, start doing boom bap or something is going to have hesitation from the drill fans because the drill fans like a specific thing and boom bap like a specific thing and everything like that. You may get recognized by the boom bap community and stuff, but and I mean, like I play around with that myself because like I have some that are like, like I've been on all different kinds of beats. I've been on
Right.
boom bap, I've been on trap beats, I've been on drill beats, I've been on like slow, like melodic, like, type of beats and stuff like that. And you can play around in that area, but when you go too far out of your character, then they're like, it has that dichotomy that Ja Rule had. The problem that Ja Rule had is that he was making love songs talking about murder at the same time. It's like 50 Cent said in his
It
book
was
when he was talking about Ja
contradicting.
Rule, is that it was too contradictory,
Yeah.
like, and it's not to say that you can't change. It's just you can't be contradictory, because 50 Cent, Jeezy, Jay-Z, they all started out street as fuck, talking about raw street shit. And as they moved and grew in life, now they're talking about building business, growing family. They're talking about different things, but they still
Right.
have like the same overall tone and image in general. Like, I'm a hustler, I'm a grinder. I started with that dope. Now I'm on this shit. I'm on more legit shit, and it's not the same as, somebody, having love songs and shit like that with female artists talking about Murder Inc. and everything like that. It's so you gotta pick your
poison.
your
So I do
your pocket to an
the
extent.
pocket. So okay, so I do okay. So I can admit to everyone that I misguided him in a sense.
Okay.
Because when I'm listening, because I do understand I do know me, I understand hip hop. I'm not right.
Right.
My hands was thrown up in the air for your shit. So
yeah,
that
you were
right.
going crazy. I thought you were gonna fall on the fucking chair when I played that one. I was just over there. I was like sitting there listening to it, and I look over at the camera, and the dude's like almost on the fucking ground. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
I was
And
getting
then
loose to my man's stuff, dude. So I really
right,
gotta feel in love for hip hop.
right,
And my advice to him was that when I heard him, but also being that I'm a metalhead, seeing what he brought and listening to him, like, why not go into a different genre?
mm-hmm.
Because that's what I feel. And to this day, I think, and I'm gonna be, I think I did misguide him, but to this day, in my heart, I feel like he would do better in a different genre.
Well, like a good metaphor is, how people always try to say, "Oh, you're trying to put the square peg in the round hole." Well, you got the round hole and you got the square holes, right? And you may be an octagon, where you're like a squared circle almost.
Good point.
But there's a hole for that. And so, like, when we were listening to the artists and stuff like that, I understand what you're saying, where you're like, hey, I understand you're trying to get into hip hop, and that's like one of the easier markets to kind of get into, even though it's highly saturated. But your stuff is very different. You need to be in a different lane.
Yeah, I really feel that way.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I was listening to that and stuff, and like the concepts and stuff like that is more like he could probably. I wouldn't want to say horrorcore because that's totally different, but like something besides just in general, like he that you need to find that lane. I'm still trying to put it together because the artist he's talking about, for those of y'all who don't know, we're not going to put him on blast and nothing like that, because we're not trying to be hateful. It's about love and everything.
Yeah.
But that artist, like,
and this is what we do, guys. This is something that we do. We really,
absolutely,
we really like, we break down the way, if you want our help, we break down the way your brands are, and we try to get you on the right track. If we feel that something's not right, we're gonna tell you. That's our job. Because we want to see you succeed. So if we feel like there are certain details that we're telling you. We're not telling you your shit's trash, just whatever, fuck off. We don't want to hear it. You ain't nobody trying to hear you. Nobody want to hear this bullshit. We're being specific about things that you can tighten up, things that you can improve, things that you might need to just let go of. There's critiques, there's steps, there's tips, there's ways that we're doing, and we've been trained to do this. And not only that, but we've studied prior to our training of becoming music marketers and music marketing coaches and brand coaches and helping artists have and creative directors. We
Yep.
have we understand this. So we're not so understand what we're not trying to say this in a way of being mean or hypercritical towards you as artists, bands, and musicians. We want you to understand that we're giving you tips to help you become successful in your journey as artists.
Yeah, and it's in our best interest that you become successful as well.
Yeah.
Because from a purely personal level, like if we're trying to help you grow and we're not helping you grow, you're not going to want to work with us. But if we are helping you grow and we are challenging you in the right way and stuff like that and actually getting that to move, then you're not only going to continue wanting to work with us, but you're going to also tell other people, you know. And I just think like
But
yeah,
back to what we were saying about him.
I was saying about that artist when we were listening. I was sitting there saying like he's on the wrong type of beats for that kind of stuff. And I can completely understand that he probably was like, I heard this beat and then the lyrics came to me. It's like, okay, that's fine, but like as an artist, I know sometimes that purely happens. You'll hear a beat and all of a sudden it's like,
dude,
boom,
boom,
here it
here it
is.
is. Yeah.
Right. But then
exactly.
sometimes you'll have a concept, or sometimes you'll have a concept that it will work better on a different beat. You know, like I showed you that brand new one I just finished last week, right? I just finished a brand new track last week. I let him listen to that and he's like, oh shit, that was actually originally the first half of it was on a totally different beat with a lot slower tempo. And so whenever I transformed it to a different beat, because I heard it at a faster tempo and I was like, oh, wait, hold on, this is speaking to me. I transformed it and then I had to adjust the lyrics a little bit, adjust the flow and everything like that for it to ride better with it was more of a boom bap. The original one was more of like a horrorcore slow tempo beat. And so and there was a lot more attitude in the original one. However, this one had more room to play with scaling up. And but either way, I don't know what I would say to that artist, man. If you're listening, is I think that you need to find a different set of beats for your thing. Like, you know, you have a concept about a goddess. It's a good concept, but the lyrics seem forced because it's not on the beat. Like if you find a different tempo to run on, probably a little faster, and then you chop some of the extra words like the ands and the thes and the buts and stuff like that out of the lyrics, you could probably get the flow a little bit faster. And sometimes getting a synonym that has an extra syllable or one less syllable, sometimes stuff like that helps as well too, you know, or saying things a little bit different, like rewording it, like taking the bar and flipping it backwards and having it go that way instead, to where it lines up better with the syllables,
or having a guy
stuff like that.
Or I haven't even like when I'm listening to him, if he does not like to ride the beat, be the fact that I'm a vocalist and a drummer, I'm one of those guys that when I'm listening to singers or vocalists, I'm going to go, okay, you know what? I'll just rock the beat to their voice, to the tempo of their voice. Lock in with their voice versus me trying to make them lock in with it. And I came up with that idea of me actually becoming his producer because I said, I think I said he needed to find a producer to work with instead of buying beats here and there. Cause that's just, and if you don't do the work right. And I just realized this, guys, I just got on BeatStars and I'm actually learning how to do this shit. And I'm like actually sitting my black ass down here and fucking like learning how to do it and do it right. So then that way I could possibly make some cash so I can get my next album out anyway.
Right.
But the thing is, you know, I've told her like, dude, you need to find, for you hip hop artists out there that's really trying to plug into the business like that, hook up with the producer.
And there's plenty of up and coming.
A lot of up and coming producers out here right now.
and some of them are nice and some of them are trash. You just got to filter through. And
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, if you're on Facebook as a hip hop artist, you're going to find producers because they find you.
Totally.
Trust me. Trust me, because like I don't need to look for anything anymore because I have graphic designers and marketers and fucking producers always hitting me up wanting me to fucking, you know, check out this or blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. They're doing the sales process with me. And so it's not the most difficult, but it's something that you need to do, like,
because it's your content.
Yeah, and
that's
sometimes
your content.
Exactly.
Your music is your content.
One thing I have a problem with still sometimes is where I will get a beat and I'll have something in my head when I first hear it. And then I'll start working on it a little bit or whatever. And then I'll put it down because like I kind of hit like a writer's block or something like that. Like my motivation just like switches off sometimes. And then I'll go and do something else. Maybe I'll come back to it in a week or two, maybe 3 weeks, whatever, a couple of days. It varies. Right. I come back to it and I'm trying, it feels like I'm trying to force the track or something like that. But I want to put it out because I'm like, I started it. I want to finish it, you know, but sometimes you gotta let it go. And then you never know, you might come back to it a year and a half later, you know. It's just one of those things. You can't wear your heart on your sleeves so much with your art, you know. Be proud of what you do, but at the same time, like if somebody comes to you and says, hey, this is not flowing right, this is not blending well, you're gonna need to do something, pick a different beat or something. The concept is good, the lyrics are, you know, good or decent or awesome, one of the two, whatever. You just, it's not musically sound. It's not there. And that's what that's what me and KP were talking about. That's what people are going to resonate with the most. You can have everything. You could have paid $5,000 for the beat from Canon or from DJ Drama, from whoever, like some Dre shit. From Dre. Yeah, you could have bought the most expensive beat Dre has, right? You could have bought the most expensive beat Dre has. You could have had him record you. You could have had Steven Spielberg direct the video. You could have Gary V do the marketing. You could have, you know, all of that. You could have all of
Rick
it, the
Barker,
best.
Your management. Right?
Yes, exactly. Like, you could have the best of everything. But if you,
what a team you're just coming up with there, dog.
Exactly, right. Well, I'm just trying to think of the best person in every field, or like one of the best people in every field, right?
Holy
but like
shit.
if you could have the best of everything, and people get in this, it's called like I call it device capture. It's probably called something else, but people get in the thing like, I gotta have the best equipment, the best this, the best that, and everything like that. It's like, no, first you gotta have the best production of music from yourself. You gotta be able to have a good, clean, solid beat, and you gotta have good, solid lyrics to come on that, and then have the mixing and mastering good, then have the production quality good and everything like that. But you have to produce the base content the best that you can. And that's where it matters the most, because not only is this the music business, like I was talking to a dude named Bruce yesterday. We were talking about this. Shout out to Bruce. Yeah, absolutely. From the network, myself and KP and him are about to start working on some different things. We're going to have each other on each other's podcasts, all that kind of stuff. But he's coming up with a podcast where he's talking about a lot more of the technicals and stuff like that. But at the same time, he's still on the same thing. Like it's the music business, but it's also the entertainment business. You have to be entertaining first. You know, you have to be entertaining first. Once you're entertaining first, then you can worry about the monetization. But you have to entertain people, and you have to be able to entertain people well, to where they keep coming back, to where they don't just listen to it once and then forget you ever existed and stuff. Because
it's an open market, you still got to buy.
Absolutely. And it's a very open market.
And you got to have a great quality.
Absolutely.
You got a quality product for them to buy in an open market.
It's a very open market.
And so you're on your own.
Very open market, especially in hip hop, because it's so much easier nowadays. You know, it's cheap to get beats, it's cheap to get mixing and mastering done. It's cheap and easy to, you know, do all that kind of stuff. But
Yep.
you have to be entertaining, or else it's not going to hit, because people have the world of entertainment at their fingertips. They can listen to anything ever created ever, and that is continuously growing by thousands and thousands and thousands of tracks a day. Right? I can't remember what the metric is that Spotify said that they have X amount of new songs uploaded every day, you know, and then
it's 120,000.
yeah, so there you go, 120,000 new
And
songs
that
every
increased from
day.
last year, which was like 70,000.
Yeah, and that was a high at that time. So it's continuously going high, right?
Yeah.
And so the consumer has 120,000 different songs that they could possibly listen to in one day. What makes it your song that they should listen to? You know, it's just like when somebody wants to be a YouTuber or something like that, right? Like with us, with our podcast, right? We're on YouTube and Spotify and all that kind of shit, right?
Right.
YouTube has, you know, what, like 1 million hours of content uploaded every day or something crazy like that, right?
Sure do.
And so what is going to get those people, you know, to get people to consume yours? Yeah. You have to be entertaining. You have to be coming with something, you know, like you can't just, it's the same reason that a lot of these news and politics based podcasts are soaring through the roof, and CNN and Fox and shit are just fucking tanking. It's because they're not entertaining anymore. They're putting out dog shit. People have more options now. So in a world full of options, you have to be that bone the dog wants to eat. You know, you gotta be there. And that's what the key is right there, is when you're creating music, it has to be good in the ears and the head and the soul, because that's where you resonate with music. And when you get to the visual aspect, obviously that has to be with the eyes. Right. But you gotta have that core, because you could have the sickest looking music video and the shittiest looking song and shittiest sounding song. Yep. So when people give you some criticism, and I know it's hard because you wear your ego on the sleeve. This is your art that you created. I get it. But you got to take it with a grain of salt, and you got to be like, okay, let me step back out of myself for half a second. Is that really? But the biggest problem is a lot of people were not raised to step back out of themselves and look at the overall big picture, and or they haven't trained themselves throughout their life to be able to do that. It's a skill. It's not something you're born with. Right. You know, and so that's the key to growing as an individual human. You know, me and KP, we're constantly doing that with all the different aspects that we're in, on trying to help artists, on trying to get better at marketing in general, on trying to create our music, on trying to do better with this podcast, and all these different things. We all have different things that we do.
Becoming a better coach, understanding
everything.
All of it, dude.
Everything. And as an artist, you need to do that as well too.
Yep.
Because that's the only way that you're going to grow. And if you just sit there and you just keep, you know, standing firm, I'm not going to change, I'm going to keep doing it like this. Okay, fine. But, you know, be prepared to have the reality that you are sticking with. You know, the reality, like I said on the very first episode, the reality is you're only getting 2 likes on your fucking Facebook. You need to change that. You need to do something different. Right. And the reason I remember that is because I just got done editing that like within the last week. So it was fresh in my mind and stuff like that. But like, you know, you have to change it. You know, there's all kinds of tropes I could throw out. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, and, you know, stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, it's the base rule of the universe. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and you have to be able to see those and then react differently with new actions in order to make your reaction what you want it to be.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's just what it comes down to. 100%. Do you have any other last words on that, man? Because I mean,
Nah,
like,
man.
I think we pretty much
Nah,
aired that out.
yeah, we just, yeah,
We
we
can only
just,
say it 5 times, the
yeah.
same way, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, like that's what we both suggest. It's tough.
It is.
It's tough, like Lil Wayne said, I wear my heart on my sleeve like it's the new fashion, right? Most people do.
And
you
Tech
know
Nine said, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. Yes, I'm fragile.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
You never
exactly.
know.
Like,
Not the
it's your
thought of
creation that you've
soul.
created from your soul.
Yeah.
All right. When you create music, that shit comes from your fucking soul. Well, it should,
Yeah.
right? If you're creating empty music, it's because you're not filling it with anything.
Yeah.
If I listen to your track and I'm sitting here listening and I'm just like, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you didn't put your soul into it. But like before we started, I was waiting on KP to hop on here, and I was throwing through like my news feed or whatever on just like Google, and I saw this guitarist who put his I'll put it in here so you guys can at least see it.
Mm-hmm.
He put his acoustic guitar in a container of water, like just to the hole. What's that hole called in the acoustic guitar?
The F hole. Something like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the acoustic guitars have the hole where the sound comes out of, right? He put it just up to that, and then he was playing it. And not only did it sound sick as shit because the sound waves were resonating in the water and in the fiberglass container and everything like that, but the music that he was creating out of that with all the notes he was hitting and everything, dude, it was amazing. And just for the fuck of it, I'll just insert it like right here. Okay, now y'all just listen to it, editing magic. But like it, he's playing that from his soul.
Yeah.
And that's no matter what genre it is. Like, I'm a hip hop dude, but I just heard some dude playing guitar because like I was raised with rock as well too. So like, but whenever I hear soulful music, it resonates, and that's the same with everyone. Even the most emptiest, shallowest person that when they hear music, they feel it.
Oh yeah.
And so that's what you have to do. That's absolutely what you have to do.
No, dude, that's like when I was telling you with me, man, when I heard Jimi Hendrix, Chick Corea, and Black Sabbath, my uncle was playing. he played ball. He played those 3 albums. He played them simultaneously, like just back to back in that order. And when I heard those 3 sounds, I was hooked. It was
Absolutely.
just like it took over me, man. Like I just, you know what I'm saying? And even just into this day, like when I hear it and just when I hear metal and hear rock and progressive jazz, it's just like, man, it just takes me to a whole nother place, dude. Like it really does. So
And
that's why I know for a fact, yeah, for people who, especially when you create it, it's you have to, I'm not gonna say you have to like become it doesn't have to become your personality, but when it comes from your soul in a way where it's just, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you know a hip hop artist when you hear you know when a nigga, you know a motherfucker who can rap when you hear them when they rap. You know a guy who could play some fucking guitar, play drums. Even when they're like getting into the beginning stage, it's like, okay, this person, if they keep it up, they gonna be sick.
Yeah, and it's
You
it's the
know it.
difference between the music coming from your head and coming from your soul.
And I
That
think
it
a
speaks
lot of these
differently
artists try to do that. You're right. That's the thing. I think a lot of artists try to do that way too much. They try to come from their head instead of it coming from the soul.
because they're thinking about the monetization and popularity aspect first,
Yeah.
which is crucial. However, you can't be like, oh, like I know an artist. I'm trying to get him back into making music. He is the best at creating hits.
Mm-hmm.
Like every song he has, it has all the all the metrics that you need to be a hit. Like it is dope.
Yeah.
But he just did not have the feeling for it anymore because he
I
was
know
like,
that feeling.
I can make a hit every day, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's what people fall into the trap of because they're in a fucked up life situation. They're like, I have no money, I have no prospect, nothing like that. Music looks like a good thing, I'm pretty decent at it, let me go ahead and start putting it out there. And then they just follow the leader, but they're just, but it's empty. They're not even following the leader. I don't know why I said
Mm-mm.
that. What they're doing is they're just like they're chasing a rainbow and trying to find the end of it.
Well, it's like they're trying to, it's like they don't want to live. It's like the person who's on the dead end job. When you
Mm-hmm.
know you gotta, and the reason why it's a dead end job is because you made it a dead end. You said, okay, this is it. This is all I can do. That's all. I can't go any further. Like when
Yeah,
people
I'm not
look
going to
at
try to grow
McDonald's,
or nothing.
right? It's like when they look at McDonald's. Let
Mm-hmm.
me just speak on this because just to get into the last word. People look at McDonald's as a place of a dead end job. Oh, you just gonna be flipping burgers. But what they're not looking at is within there's the corporation. You move up the ladder in McDonald's, you pretty much are going to secure yourself a 6-figure income.
Yeah, once you get to a certain point.
Once you get to a certain point, that's what they're not looking at, though. See,
Yep.
they're only looking at they look at you're going to be flipping burgers all your life mentality when they're not looking at within that company, it's real estate. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
they told you. And artists, if you do not start looking at your very own music, I don't care if you play the most satanic black metal in the world, or if you play left wing anti national socialist black metal like I'm about to start doing. Damn it. If you don't know how to market the shit, truly market it. If you don't know how to market the very music that you create from your soul, if you don't know how to market it, then yeah, guess what? You're just going to be in it for the money.
Yep.
And it's not going to
Exactly.
make a damn dime.
No, and even if it does, you're not gonna feel good. You're
No,
gonna
you're not
have
gonna
to.
feel
You're
good.
gonna. That's when those people cope with drugs and alcohol and all kinds of crazy
Mm-hmm.
shit. You know, it's because it's so empty. It's vapid. You
Yeah.
know, and yeah, you have to constantly try to improve yourself. Every day you wake up is another day for you to make at least one little bit of change in your life positively.
And you have your calling. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Troy Taylor. He said this. He was talking about Boys to Men. He wanted to be an artist, but it wasn't until he heard one of them, he heard one of the guys from Boys to Men sing one of his tracks. And from that point on, he was a producer.
Mm.
Because I wrote on his Instagram, I said, you found your purpose. And he did.
Absolutely.
He found his purpose. So artists, producers, all of you out there, within this industry, within this business, you have a purpose. You don't always have to be just, and I'm going to say this just in, you don't look at your skin color as a reason why you can't do certain music. That's number one. Number two, your age does not limit your sense of good composition and production. And number three, I wish I would have learned this in high school. It's okay to be the water boy, because guess what? You could go to the NFL and start off making 50 grand a year and moving on up. So what I'm saying is, it's okay if you become a manager, a producer, a marketer, an A&R, a scout, those things. It's okay to start off doing that. It's okay to be the roadie.
And
We
you
need you.
may, and yeah, exactly. It's all needed.
Yep.
And you may end up thinking, oh, I like this better.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard about, people who write songs that end up writing songs for like the biggest stars in the world. And
Exactly.
they've never put their face on anything because they realize I just like writing the songs. I don't want the limelight. I could take the money, but I don't want the
You don't
limelight.
have to deal with the limelight.
You know,
And there are
stuff
some
like
people who
that.
can perform their asses off
And
and
can't
you
write for
live for it and
shit.
can't write for Jack.
Drake. But yeah, there's people like that, and it's all different aspects. But like he was just saying, like that was solid right there, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and you, that number one right there, your skin color doesn't matter on what type of music you can make. I mean, me and you exemplify the fuck out of that in every aspect,
I agree, man.
and so I mean yeah, we're just gonna leave it there, man. I don't want to say anything much else because you just put icing all over the cake and the oven and the kitchen table and everything, man.
I had to
So
tell myself that, especially the skin
yeah,
color does not determine the great music type of music you are good at.
yeah. I
It
I
doesn't. And I
I
had to
tell
realize
myself,
that.
yeah, I tell myself the same thing, and I
Yeah.
know,
I know you
it's,
do.
and I know
And
it's a
I'm
totally, yeah, I know it's a totally different plight for you because you also have the other dynamic of skin color holding you back from just success in general and shit like that.
and then being
That's
queer.
totally different. Yeah, that all kinds of
Yeah.
that adds on to it as well. So you have more dynamic of that. But yeah, like what you look like doesn't it
No.
doesn't no. It's about what you do.
Yep. And I
You
tell
know?
you right now, my man Fire, he fired, right?
Appreciate it.
Straight up fire. So that tells you, man.
Yeah,
So man,
and KP's doing the congos on the intro of the motherfucking episode here every time. So
hey,
there's
yeah,
that
man.
too.
That's
But
right. Sweet.
all right, yeah, but we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. I think we hopped up on our sermon for enough for today, even though it's not Sunday. But
Well, it's
yeah,
sad day.
exactly. But yeah, just make sure y'all tithe and but
Yeah, man.
by sharing the show, by telling people about it. If you're an artist and you're listening to this and you are enjoying what's going on, if you're in any realm of music and you're enjoying what's going on, you happen to know at least one other person that could benefit from at least listening to it, or may even like it.
Yeah.
So just share it with them, share it with any and everybody you can think of, continue tuning in. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe on all the socials and streaming platforms, everything like that. All links for everything are available at musicmakingsensepod.com. Links below and everything like that, and all the descriptions. And just keep on tuning in and supporting the fuck out of us. Make sure you go to the discount section on our website, musicmakingsensepod.com. The discount section has a bunch of companies that we work with to give you all discounts, and then when you make a purchase with them, they support, they financially support us. So it doesn't cost you a single dime extra, and you can go and buy the stuff that you're already thinking about getting anyway. And so It's a win all the way around.
Help us get our first 100 subscribers too on Spotify, y'all. Let's get us some
monthly listeners. Exactly. Yeah, because there's different metrics with Spotify, so we can start running ads. I know a lot of y'all hate listening to ads, but the ads help support us. All right. I mean, I know Spotify takes their chunk, but we do get some as well too. So we appreciate the hell out of every single one of y'all when you listen, whether you're supporting us financially or not, or whatever you're doing. Just keep listening, and then try to implement what we're saying, whether or not you want to work with us, which is perfectly fine. Like I said, we're both music marketers. We both have our own business and everything like that. If you want to work with us, message us and let us know, and we'll be glad to help you out. Free consultation, initial and everything like that, free initial consultation. But even if you just want to take our stuff and you want to run with it, like I have, I mean, I've paid a couple people for their information, but a lot of the stuff I've gotten for free off of YouTube and podcasts and stuff like that. Never subscribed, never spent a dime, never purchased anything or nothing like that. Rarely ever shared some of the content, but I've used it to benefit myself, and that's really what matters most. So yeah, absolutely. Until next time, this has been Harkos and KP with the Music Making Sense podcast, as always. And we'll see y'all next time.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
Holla.